Alright, good evening everyone. This is Mr. V from Mr. V Amps, and this does not sound like my camera because it's not. This is actually through our PV Mark III unit that we refurbished on a previous video. Yeah, that was long and boring, and yeah, I do have a little bit of reverb, so if it sounds like I'm in a tunnel, I'm just messing around. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our Leslie speaker project. I have 4 microphones on it. That's what you're looking at here. From the visual vantage point here, the microphone on the right is going to be number 1, on the left will be number 2, on the front is number 3, and on the back is number 4. So those are our 4 microphones, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn on some various microphones, give it a listen, hear what it sounds like, and maybe talk about it a little bit, and then move on. But this is going to be the first Mr. V video, despite the fact that the lighting in here is awful, and I'm definitely not a videographer. Darn it, we're going to have some good audio. The Crate power block that we're running our speaker with has no reverb whatsoever, so we might use a little bit from the mixer to give it a little bit more gusto. But other than that, I think we are good to go. So we'll see in just a few minutes here. Our first sound clip, we're going to just use microphones 1 and 2, which should be the left and the right, panned all the way to the side. So we're going to have, and I have this thing running at about full speed. So we'll just listen to a couple of guitar chords with just the 2 mics, and then we'll experiment with what we can do with 4. We'll try the same thing again, but this time we'll put a little bit of the reverb on it and see if that helps. Okay, we'll try to experiment a little bit now. We'll bring in the front and the back mics. We'll bring them in a little bit and we'll leave them panned to the center. So we'll see how that sounds. Hopefully you all aren't getting to enjoy too much of the noise that comes down here in the lair. There's a lot of background noise, so I apologize if my microphones are picking it up. These things are very sensitive and could hear a fly sneeze, so that's why I can't make any recordings until the family leaves town. But yeah, such is first world problems. Anyway, we're going to do one more thing. I'm just going to try to pan them all a little bit in a way that I kind of try to get a real swirl, and maybe we'll slow it down a little bit more and see what kind of stereo effect we get there, and then we'll call it a video. But I thought it was cool to be able to hear the rotating speaker in stereo. everybody. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun getting to hear what stuff sounds like in stereo. Now that we have the mixer hooked up to the computer, we can do some really cool sound stuff. That is the PV Mark III mixer you're listening to, and the speaker there with some really luxury mics. And I know all you gearheads are looking at me going, okay, what kind of microphones did you use? Because we gotta know. Those are those really cheap Pile Pro something 78 knockoffs or whatever, and I went in and modified them and made them balanced. So that's yeah, those microphones are like $10 a piece. They're nothing. So we're experimenting with extreme low budget and seeing what we can do and have a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you all soon.